Hey gang. I'm Fahaam, your financial freedom guru. Let's turn your dreams into billionaire success stories. Let me take you on a journey today that might just change the way you look at fashion, business, and what it truly means to rise from nothing. This isn't the story of a man born into wealth, or someone who had all the advantages in life. This is the story of a delivery boy, a high school dropout, the son of a railway worker, who became one of the richest men in the entire world. This is the story of Amancio Ortega, the man who created Zara, and the man who silently built one of the greatest business empires the world has ever seen, without ever seeking the spotlight. If you've ever worn anything from Zara or walked into a mall and seen those bold black letters, you've been influenced by this quiet giant of fashion. Born in 1936 in a small town in northwest Spain called Busdongo de Arbas, Amancio's early life was anything but glamorous. His father was a railway worker, and his mother worked as a maid. He learned about struggle not from books, but from life. The defining moment came when he was just 14 years old. He walked into a store with his mother, and she asked to buy a shirt on credit. The store owner refused. That moment stuck with him. The humiliation. The helplessness. The deep desire to never be poor again. That's where the fire began. He left school and started working as a delivery boy at a local shirt maker's shop. He didn't just deliver, he watched. He listened. He studied how the business worked from the inside. He would later say that working in that shop taught him more than any school ever could. He learned how clothes were made, how customers behaved, how suppliers negotiated. He didn't just want to sell clothes, he wanted to understand the system, to break it, and rebuild it better. For years, he quietly worked his way up in the fashion world, taking note of every inefficiency and every delay. The traditional clothing industry was slow and expensive. Designers would take months to create a collection, and stores would take even longer to stock it. Ortega thought, why not do it faster? Why not listen to what customers want, make it quickly, and deliver it immediately? In 1975, with just a few $1,000s and support from his wife and siblings, he opened the first Zara store in La Coruña, Spain. It wasn't flashy. It didn't scream luxury. But it was revolutionary. While other brands focused on seasonal collections, Ortega focused on speed. Zara could take a new fashion idea and get it from the drawing board to the store in just 3 weeks. Sometimes less. This wasn't fashion. This was fast fashion. And customers loved it. They weren't just buying clothes, they were buying access, affordability, and instant style. While the world was still figuring out how to get a product made, Zara had already sold out and was working on the next batch. Zara was built on 3 principles: speed, affordability, and quality. Ortega didn't spend money on advertising. He didn't hire celebrities. Instead, he invested in logistics and supply chains. He created an in-house team that worked with real-time feedback. Every Zara store would send daily data to the headquarters, showing what sold, what didn't, and what customers were asking for. This data was used immediately to design the next batch. Every Zara store became a real-time sensor for customer taste. While other fashion giants spent millions on predicting trends, Ortega simply listened. And he responded with lightning speed. The secret? Control everything. Ortega's company, Inditex, owns almost every part of the production process. From designing to manufacturing, to warehousing and retailing, it's all in-house. That's why they can adapt faster than anyone else. And while others outsource to save costs, Ortega built local factories in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, cutting shipping time dramatically. That's how Zara became a global phenomenon. By the 1990s, Zara had expanded beyond Spain and into Europe. By the 2000s, it was conquering the US and Asia. Ortega quietly became a billionaire. He never gave interviews. He never appeared at fashion shows. He never craved media attention. While other billionaires made headlines, Ortega was always behind the scenes, working, building, expanding. Today, Inditex is the world's largest fashion retailer. It owns not just Zara, but also Bershka, Pull & Bear, Massimo Dutti, Stradivarius, and more. Over 7,000 stores in more than 90 countries. All of it started with a poor Spanish kid who couldn't afford a shirt. At one point, Ortega even became the richest man in the world, surpassing Bill Gates for a brief moment. Think about that. A man with no college degree, no tech company, no flashy brand, just a relentless focus on efficiency, customer obsession, and speed. His personal wealth skyrocketed to over $70 billion. But you'll never see him on a yacht or throwing money around. He still eats lunch at the company cafeteria. He wears simple clothes. He lives in a modest apartment. For him, wealth isn't for show. It's fuel for the business machine he built with his own hands. And let me tell you something emotional about this man. He didn't forget where he came from. Ortega has donated billions to healthcare, education, and social causes in Spain. He's helped buy cancer machines for hospitals, fund scholarships for underprivileged kids, and provide food and clothing for the needy. He remembers that day in the store, the day his mother couldn't afford that shirt. And he made sure no one else ever has to feel that way again. That's real legacy. What made Ortega successful wasn't luck. It was timing, yes, but also vision. He saw that the world was changing. People wanted fashion fast. They didn't want to wait 6 months for a collection. They wanted it now. And he gave it to them, before they even asked. He didn't follow trends. He created a new system, a new model, a new rhythm for the fashion industry. And everyone else had to catch up. So what can you learn from Amancio Ortega? That it's not about being loud. It's about being smart. It's not about having the best ideas, it's about executing the simplest ones faster than anyone else. It's about owning your supply chain, knowing your customer, and building systems that scale. It's about turning problems into solutions and staying humble no matter how rich you become. Ortega could have stopped at one store. He could have become a local hero. But he kept going. Because he wasn't just building a store, he was building a machine, a legacy, a revolution. Today, Zara is everywhere. From Milan to Manhattan. From Paris to Pakistan. And behind it all, is a man you'll probably never see in public, never hear speak in interviews, never watch giving TED Talks. But that's the beauty of his story. Amancio Ortega proves that you don't have to be loud to be legendary. You don't have to shout to build an empire. You just need vision, speed, and the discipline to never stop improving. So the next time you walk into a Zara store, remember, you're walking into a dream that started with rejection. A dream that began when a poor boy's mother couldn't afford a shirt. And that boy decided he would build a world where everyone could feel fashionable, powerful, and respected, without breaking the bank. This is Fahaam's financial freedom. And I hope this story lit a fire inside you. Because if Amancio Ortega can rise from nothing to billions by just observing, learning, and executing better than anyone else, so can you. It's not about where you start. It's about how hungry you are to change your ending. The road to financial freedom isn't paved with luck, it's built with grit, systems, and the courage to do things differently. If you felt inspired today, smash that like button, drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway, and don't forget to subscribe for more billionaire journeys that prove wealth is never just about money, it's about vision, discipline, and purpose. Keep chasing your dreams, keep building, and as always, let's turn your story into the next billionaire success.